Hi guys, I'm Katie Room from Periapsis Press.
And I'm David Room.
And we're back.
Are we? I'm tired. We're so back.
We went to the bookstore.
Finally.
It's been a while.
Yep.
Got some good stuff.
When you have a small baby driving many miles
into
the cities is just requires a little bit more planning.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had kind of a nice set of finds.
Yeah.
And then after that, we've got our McFarlane Medieval Spawn Kickstarter figures that we've been waiting to open. It's all on stream.
Yeah.
So I looked at mine in the box, but haven't taken it out of the box, and Katie hasn't opened hers yet. So
they're not the same. We got different colors.
Yep, I got the classic one, and she got the red and black one.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. So.
All right.
Yeah, let's get into it. You want to
go
first?
My stuff's ready.
We each only have a couple things, so why don't we just all go at once?
Sounds good.
And I think we got a bunch of kids' books too, but we don't usually show the books that we got just for kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there wasn't anything crazy this time.
Grab some little golden books.
Oh, I did grab a couple of reprints of the original Nancy Drew that were pretty and interesting. I could show those if you guys are interested in them. I could tell you what.
Nobody's interested in them.
Okay, that's fine. They're not sci-fi fantasy, so. But it was fun to see a something in the public domain. Somebody took the opportunity to put it out in a really nice format. Often you get stuff that's in the public domain that is just kind of slapped together real quick, very, very haphazardly with paperback stuff. These were hardcover, nice covers, nice introductions, well formatted. It was just very nice to see. And I grabbed 3 of them. First thing that I found was The Dark Tower and Other Stories by C.S. Lewis, and I had no clue what this was. I guess The Dark Tower is possibly an early version of one of the sci-fi books.
I don't know. Don't look at me.
Let's see if I can. I opened the preface.
The preface.
To see if it will tell me real quick, but it launches into a story about when this guy went to stay at C.S. Lewis's house.
Sounds insufferable.
Yeah. But it's incomplete. And then there's other stories in here too.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's fun. It grabbed me. It's probably the eyes on it.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
So I guess it's got that going for it.
You know.
Let's see when this was. This looks like 80s that this was
probably
put out.
Yeah, I'll just do a quick Google while you're holding it.
I like to
Okay, The Dark Tower is an incomplete manuscript that appears to be an unfinished sequel to the science fiction novel The Silent Planet, though doubts have been raised about its authenticity.
So it's not even actual real C.S. Lewis. It's like fake. Wow. That's cool.
Interesting. Oh, it's got other cool covers too.
Nice. Yeah, so this is 77. The trustees of the estate. So it's a shameless cash grab.
That's what it is.
Nice.
Hooper in his introduction, states he rescued an untitled manuscript in Lewis's handwriting of the story from a bonfire of the author's writings early in 1964, several months after Lewis's death. Who's making a bonfire out of C.S. Lewis's writings?
Well, I mean, maybe C.S. Lewis wanted to. Maybe he didn't want this.
Valid.
Maybe this story will prove all those awful things that I say about C.S. Lewis on Twitter once and for all.
And it's heretical. That's not something you necessarily say. I was just gonna.
Are you unmuted? Or
Yes.
Okay. Michael Caine. I think he said. I think he's just saying that he is muting us, but I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay. You can't do that to me.
Yeah.
Doug Wise says the art reads late 70s.
It certainly does, and the fonts looks like it. It's kind of funny because it looks like a Stephen King.
Right.
It looks like, oh, it's Stephen King's Dark Tower, but it's C.S. Lewis. Well, have fun with that, I guess.
That's really interesting. I'll have to do more research about that at another time. Okay.
Well, I mean, or you could just read it. I mean, it's short.
I could just read it right now.
Well, no, not now. Not right now.
I was talking about right now. I found this. This was in the old and interesting in the kids section, and it's clearly they thought it was a kid's book, but it's the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So,
does it have illustrations of the skeleton pirates? And does it look like Pirates of the Caribbean? That's what I want to see.
Well, it's like wood block.
Yeah. Well, let's
illustrations, and it's got little notes in the margins about what has happened in the paragraph, which is kind of nice.
It's a little smelly.
It smells like an old book.
Yeah, there we go.
Very nice.
There's the Proto Pirates of the Caribbean.
I couldn't pass this up.
It's really cool. Yeah, from a school library.
Yeah. So yeah. Very interesting. Old and interesting.
Old and interesting. Congratulations.
I don't have these.
Did you had one soft cover, right?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't. I have Weapons and Warfare, and I have Making of the Movie Trilogy.
Okay.
I don't have these, and these are
Hardcover.
hardcover. So they only had The Fellowship and The Two Towers. They didn't have Return of the King.
Did we look at them? Are the pages in good shape on these? They seem like it.
I don't know. I guess I only looked at the dust jackets because there was one that was in much rougher shape.
So I used to check, at least once I checked one of these out from the library, but I think it was the soft cover version.
Oh, nice.
So these were kind of like the movie tie-in books.
Yeah. I remember checking them out from the library.
It's a really good section if you ever go to a Half Price Books to go to the film section, because that's where all of the movie tie-in books are. And this kind of thing is like, you know, I would never buy a book like this for full price when the movie came out, but you know, for $10 or whatever these were,
yeah, they weren't even
probably $8 or $9 a piece for movies like Lord of the Rings. I mean, and they've got like embossed covers and everything. I mean, that's just a fun thing to have in your collection. Now you gotta get the Return of the King one.
Yes.
And you might have to order that because I feel like 90% of the time the ones they have there are the are the softcover ones,
Mhm.
not hardcover.
Yeah, you're probably right. Patrick says that we should look into getting the novelizations
Yeah.
of the movies.
Yeah. Terry Brooks did those, right?
Oh. The last thing that I grabbed was this chunky A Kingdom Far and Clear, which is a trilogy of the Swan Lake, which I didn't know was a thing, but it's illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg. For people who don't know who Chris Van Allsburg is, Polar Express,
Jumanji.
And of course, I can't find a picture. There we go. So yeah, I have a daughter who's very interested in ballet, so I'm sure that sooner or later this will get some attention.
These are a trilogy of books that was written by this guy. Were you familiar with those?
No.
So it's just some guy's novelization of Swan Lake from when or where?
Trilogy of novellas, critically acclaimed author. I think this is what the ballet is based off of.
No.
No?
I mean, Swan Lake is an old story. And I think the original thing is.
I don't know. It just was a pretty book, and it was illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Halperin is an American. Wait. Mark Halperin.
Tune in and watch us Google Live.
Interesting. Yeah, so. Yeah, who knows?
It's not immediately clear.
Huh. This seems like a fairly recent collection, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, the story's dark nature. It's bleak, not for kids. Interesting. Beautiful and strange. So maybe not so good for the small children, but maybe an interesting adaptation. Well, if nothing else, the illustrations are cool. I like Chris Van Allsburg a lot. So.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So that was the last thing.
I'll grab my stuff.
Let me know if you guys want to see the Nancy Drew books.
No.
I didn't think so. My audience is more than 80% male, so I won't be offended.
Okay, so the first thing I got here is not a book, but a game. So I've been collecting Jewel Case old PC games recently, and I specifically just learned that some of these LucasArts games that I liked a lot but never actually owned were released in a Jewel Case format, which I think is kind of nice because it's a way to get the whole game self-contained without the big box, and you still have like the material that you would have on the back of the box, like screenshots and system requirements and stuff, which is fun. It kind of doesn't take up too much space on the shelf. And I was actually eyeing up copies this exact thing on eBay, and they had a copy at Half Price Books for $5, and it even had a note on it that said it came in sealed. So this is a brand new, unopened, unused copy of X-Wing Alliance for $5. So I was pretty excited about that.
Michael Caine says I loved that game.
Yeah. So, and Free Narnian says I remembered disc cases like that. Yeah. So there's several LucasArts games that came in these double CD, single slot jewel cases. This was like before stuff started going on DVD. So a lot of games from this era ended up being on 2 CDs in this double format. And what happens is these always get busted and the discs end up falling out and everything. That's what happened to all mine from when I was a kid. But it's brand new, shiny new right now, so I'm enjoying it. So should I do the magazines first, or I'll save the magazines for last because I think they're maybe a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
So I always like to look through the clearance comics bin at Half Price, and I found a bunch of stuff. So I like to grab early Image Comics issues because I like the story of Image Comics, and if it's like under issue 10 at 50 cents, it's kind of a no-brainer. So they had Prophet #1 here, and I believe this is volume 1, number 1, so it's the very first one. This is Rob Liefeld, famous for Deadpool and stuff. And Prophet's kind of, as far as I know, it's kind of a weird story that gets into some of his kind of weird biblical allegory that he does. So I'm kind of anxious to read this one. I have a later issue that has quite a bit better art because it's done by has very unique, really well done art done by another guy with a very distinct style. But this is #1, so I thought I'd grab it. I found a few issues of Nexus, which is a book by Mike Barron, and it's illustrated by Steve Root. He's a really amazing illustrator, so it's kind of a sci-fi adventure. This one actually looks cool. It looks like he meets Badger, so I'm anxious to read this. Badger's another Mike Barron comic that I really like, so this will be a fun read. And yeah, these are just gorgeous. I've got a bunch of them. I haven't read any of them yet, but I'm getting close to a nice complete set of a bunch of them, so it'll be fun to go through them. So I found a few issues of that. When I find these weird, like interesting, weird, random indie comics, I like to grab them. And this is an interesting one. It's Archangels, the Saga, which I actually read about in a Focus on the Family hand-me-down teen magazine when I was a kid. It's like some kind of Christian comic about angels. Let me just pull this out, where the superheroes are angels, kind of a spiritual warfare thing. And you find this weird stuff in the bin at Half Price Books. I had to grab this. I was hoping they'd have more of them, but it looks like this is the only one. Kind of nice, 90s Image style comic art. Some pretty fun stuff. So kind of fun to check that out. And then the last thing I found was this crazy adaptation from First. I think this is also First Comics of Great Expectations, which is my favorite Dickens novel. And this is another one that you don't pass up for 50 cents. And it's got a really weird art style, but I kind of like it. And it goes through the whole story. So I'm kind of curious to see, because Great Expectations is a pretty sprawling book. I'm curious to see how it adapts things and what it does there. So, and something interesting, I was looking inside of it, I'm interested to see how it does, is that it says that the final scene of this adaptation is based on a combination of two texts. The original ending, a somber passage which adheres to the book's moral lessons, and a second, less melancholy closing, which Dickens hoped to make the story more acceptable to readers. So I'm curious to see how they handle that. That to me is one of the really interesting things about Great Expectations. It has like a real kind of a downer of an ending, but then there's like this alternate version where he gives it a happy ending. So I'm curious to see what this book does with that. Okay, and then the last thing I found was a couple of magazines, and these are what I was excited about. So I've been collecting Star Wars stuff, and I don't buy just like random Star Wars books and magazines. I collect stuff from a very specific era, which is like 90s up through maybe about 2000. So like around the Phantom Menace era. And these are just about, so we've got an issue of Star Wars Insider and an issue of Star Wars Galaxy, which I don't remember knowing about Star Wars Galaxy, so I don't know how long it was published. But these are just about in the right era for what I collect. So this Star Wars Insider is, I want to say, let me see if I can find where it says what, I think it's 95. And it's really great because just the things that are in these magazines are like all of the Star Wars things that I like. So the ads, the toy news is like for the toys that I like and that I collect. There are neat ads for LucasArts games. So like there's this little column that's like a preview for Rebel Assault 2, which is not a very good game, but it's a game that I enjoyed a lot as a kid. It was, it came out long before I played it, but it was something I enjoyed a lot. There's some nice stuff about Star Wars toys, nice ads. So just kind of fun stuff that goes along with what I collect. So it's a fun thing to buy. I had this Micro Machines set as a kid. It's fun to look at this stuff. This book is mostly just a giant catalog. Like probably only half of it is articles. The rest is just all this stuff that you can buy. So that's kind of fun. And then both of these magazines, this other one especially, but this one talk about Shadows of the Empire. And as you guys know, Shadows of the Empire is one of my favorite things. Not so much for the thing itself, but just for what it was, what it was trying to do. And let me see if I can find in this magazine, they have a little thing, I think it's in the letters, where they're talking about what Shadows of the Empire is. It's kind of fun. Most of this is just kind of nonsense that I don't really even care about, but the interesting bits are great. So like, is Shadows of the Empire like another Star Wars movie with everything but the movie? Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's an interesting way to put it. So yeah, people were starting to get excited about Shadows of the Empire. They had the logo here at this point, evidently. So that's the Star Wars Insider, and then this Star Wars Galaxy. This was a really cool find. So it's always a good sign when you see stuff with the paper, and I mean like for the plastic for $2. It's like you're gonna get something good here. So I got to show you this, guys, because it's really cool. So Patrick, I'm not sure what you're talking about with Rebel Assault 2, because the Death Star is not in Rebel Assault 2. I think it takes place before Return of the Jedi, because the first Rebel Assault kind of follows like some of the events of A New Hope. But Rebel Assault 2 is kind of its own story where you are uncovering the Phantom Tie stuff and taking that down. There's a section where you fly a Millennium Falcon ship through some mining tunnels that is maddening. So this magazine, and there's some of the columnists are like some of the same people from Wizard magazine. So it's like just these people had nothing better to do but write, these pop culture write-ups. So you get the magazine itself, which has got all kinds of fun stuff in it. I was really excited looking through this. So you have fun fan art, people sending in their toy collections. I think this magazine was kind of targeted a little bit at kids. They're starting to get into Shadows of the Empire stuff here with some neat game stuff, interviews with different people. And then this was really cool. So this is an article about one of my favorite Star Wars books, which is the Star Wars Essential Guide to Vehicles. So I thought it was really cool. And of course, there's going to be an article about this book in one of these magazines, right? Because like, what else are they going to write about? But it surprised me when I saw it. It was really cool. They're pointing out that there is Shadows of the Empire stuff in it, which is kind of fun. And people are looking forward to the prequels at this point too. And let me see what else. There's a lot of bounty hunter stuff in this magazine, which is cool. Some screenshot from Dark Forces there. Nice Boba Fett comic. I would have gotten a huge kick out of this kind of stuff as a kid. Model making stuff. Interview with the president of LucasArts with all kinds of nice game screenshots.
John says, looking forward to the prequels.
Yeah.
What do you call that face?
I liked Phantom Menace. I don't care what anybody else says. Oh, and then this was kind of fun too. So this is an article about non-US Star Wars toys, which if you get it all into vintage Star Wars toys is a common topic of conversation. Specifically, this Death Star playset. It's the Palitoy Death Star. Is like very, very commonly talked about when you get into talking about vintage Star Wars stuff. So I wonder if this was kind of like, I don't know, maybe when a lot of people first heard about this stuff, it's like, but the internet now it's kind of common knowledge. But there's an ad here for more of these essential guides, and there's this technical journal, which I need to get a hold of. I've never actually seen this thing. I don't ever remember seeing it as a kid, and I've never seen it at Half Price Books. So I need to just order, and it's a hardcover. So I need to get a hold of that because I actually have all of these essential guides at this point. So, but cool thing is, what?
You just hit the mic.
Oh, cool thing is some extra stuff that this came with. So it came with one of these wide vision cards. I had a bunch of these actually from back in the day, from different places.
Wait,
what?
Who's that?
That is Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then it also came with this really awesome foil embossed Boba Fett card.
That is cool.
So, and then this is really cool too. I wish I had a good way of like framing this or something, but it's a Bounty Hunters poster with the classic 6
Nice.
Bounty Hunters, and on the back it has like things about other bounty hunters too, but yeah, so really fun stuff. huge value for $2. So check out your local half price books if you like this kind of thing.
Nice.
So
Very cool. Patrick says the technical journal is $26 on Amazon.
yeah.
Michael Caine says that Phantom Menace is better than 99% of the movies being released today. Flawed, but perfectly fine.
Yeah. It really is. I understand and sympathize with the dislike of the Phantom Menace, but it's not as bad as the Red Letter Media reviews make it out to be by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
So, and I say that as a person who really, really likes the Red Letter Media review of Phantom Menace.
Free Narnian said, the more I've learned about Lucas as a filmmaker, the more I deeply appreciate the prequels. And John says, Phantom Menace grew on me, but doesn't like how it grew. It got worse.
It got worse. Yeah, you're not gonna hear me really defending the other prequels too much. I know Free Narnian's a prequel fan because he grew up in that era. I liked them all right when they came out. I wasn't the hugest fan of Revenge of the Sith. There's a lot of parts of Attack of the Clones I like, but I think when I think about the parts of Star Wars that I like the most, I think Phantom Menace it's honestly it's almost better in some ways than the original trilogy, just in terms of what it's trying to do and what it's trying to be. So
yeah,
just in terms of the production design and the filmmaking and I think the Phantom Menace has a really, really good soundtrack too. I would stack the Phantom Menace soundtrack against any of the original trilogy soundtracks.
Patrick says Tales of the Bounty Hunters book was my favorite Star Wars book before Disney destroyed it.
Sounds about right.
Back in the good old days.
All right, should we get to the...
Let's do this. Now, did you cover up our address?
No, but we can take them out of the box down below. I'll get my knife. Okay. Here it is.
Thank you, sir.
Here, I'll get mine out while you're working on that. Okay, so what these are is the McFarlane Medieval Spawn Kickstarter that they ran last year. And as you guys know, I got really into collecting Spawn figures last year, and I kind of actually completed the collection of figures that I want for the most part, so I don't talk about it too much anymore. But I was really excited to get in on this Kickstarter because I think their medieval Spawn figure in their modern area is not very good. And these Kickstarters are a really good way to get really cool figures for a pretty good price. I missed the original Classic Spawn Kickstarter because I wasn't really a Spawn fan yet at that point. But this is just, I think the cool thing about this figure is that it's like a figure that just about anybody would like, even if you don't necessarily like Spawn. If you have any bone in your body that's like, I want a cool action figure, you're almost certainly going to think that this is a cool action figure. And it does some really neat things and comes with a lot of accessories. So Katie actually wanted to get her own. So
I wanted to be able to dress him up.
So she did. So we're gonna unbox them and compare. And I'm not sure if we're going to have enough room on the table to do both at the same time, so we can alternate or something maybe while we're taking them out of the blister, but it should be
We'll
fun.
do our best here.
Yeah. And yeah, so should we work on it here? So I got the classic colors and Katie got the red and black version. And medieval, like for people who don't know about Spawn is like a hell spawn is like somebody who dies and then is sent back as kind of like a servant of Satan. But they often are kind of like mercenaries that use their powers for different ends. And medieval Spawn is a guy who had this whole Spawn thing happen to him in the Middle Ages. So he is kind of like active in that time period. And his first appearance is in a very famous issue of Spawn that was written by Neil Gaiman and introduced a couple of other really famous Spawn characters that Gaiman won the rights to in the famous lawsuit against Todd McFarlane over the payment and royalties for that particular issue. So some kind of interesting history to that particular comic, but it's quite a good comic.
So this foam was on top when it comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the bubble.
So the way these figures are done is really cool.
That's just gorgeous.
So they're modern in the modern like 7-inch scale, but they are kind of designed to look like. Here, we can just close these up and put them on the floor. They're designed to look like the original Spawn toys with the blister and the comic. But these blisters are actually resealable, so you don't have to destroy them, take them out. The original ones had these stickers on the front, so they're designed to like set and display on the shelf. So we won't destroy the packaging opening these up, but I just want to be careful with it so we don't scratch them too much or crunch them or whatever. It could be kind of cool to display like this. I don't know. It's going to look way better out of a package than in. And then the big boxes have a lot of other accessories that you might have seen. So it's going to be really fun to try to put those on. And the accessories are actually magnetic a lot of them. So. Are you going to pull it out?
Just to show it.
Now I'm curious to see what book this is. I'm assuming that this is going to be a reprint of the book.
Spawn 9.
Oh, nice! It is actually. Is the whole thing actually Spawn number 9?
I think it's just covers. No, just pages. I mean.
Okay.
Spawn 304, page 15.
I'm wondering because the packing comics for the figures were not the original like Spawn comics. They were like specially made for kids. So it looks like this is just an art book.
Yeah, it looks like Spawn on his horse.
Yeah, that first one definitely is from Spawn number 9.
And then here's a couple of medieval Spawn.
Well, the first one is medieval Spawn too, also, right?
It didn't say that.
But that's the first appearance of the character.
Oh, okay. Then this is where it's telling you at the bottom where they're from, and this is specifically from medieval Spawn and Witchblade.
Mm-hmm. Once she shows that, I'll just page through mine to see if it's the same thing. I'm assuming it's the same thing.
Very,
just
very
with a different
cool
cover. It's nice that the book comes in this nice. The way it's mounted in there is really safe and secure and not crunched up.
Gotta keep going, I guess. Coming soon in 2025, Medieval Spawn, first issue.
Yeah, so there's a new Medieval Spawn series.
And then here is these different
yeah, so this is the one I got. That's the one that Katie got, and then they have this Paint Master version that doesn't have any
Mm-hmm.
paint on it. If you want to hold it a little closer to the camera,
I-
well, not closer to the camera, just a little farther ahead, so people can see it. And this is the figure that is in their normal toy line, and it doesn't have a lot of paint on it.
Mhm.
It really needs, I think, more paint to look better.
So this is 23,
Yeah,
Kickstarter 24.
a little bit of an improvement.
Very cool. And then some concept art stuff. So cool. So cool. Very excited about
Let's
this.
just see, just quick. Oh man, that's really nice. They really make it easy to get that out, and it's
yeah,
not,
it just slides real
and it's a
smooth.
nice cardboard cover too, so it's not going to get crunched up. This looks like the same thing.
Mine's green. This is red.
Yeah, this is cool. I think this is the original toy design drawings. Yeah, toy concept art. That's cool. I'm actually not a huge, so I like old toys, and I've collected a lot of 90s toys. I'm actually not a huge fan of the original 90s Spawn toys. I think they look kind of silly. And I think that the newer toys do a better job of kind of representing what the comic art looks like. So
Could you pass me the knife? This is the first tape I've encountered.
I have an appreciation for the original toys, but they're not something that I'm necessarily interested in collecting. Did you find a good place to set your comic?
I've got it over here.
Okay. Just make sure you're not dinging up the packaging too much.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Okay.
I don't want to either.
Okay.
I want to be obligated to keep this plastic for my entire adult
Yes.
life.
Good. Good. Yeah, I really like how this was made so that you can not throw it away.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Is it everything you hoped and dreamed it would be?
I'm pretty pumped. Nice. Okay. See if I can make more noise. And David tells me that we can fix my camera auto brightness.
Yeah.
We thought we couldn't, but he thinks he's figured out
Yeah.
a way to do it.
We just ran out of time to do it tonight because the baby was up. But yeah, it's definitely doable. So apologize for the flickering. Hopefully we'll have that fixed next time.
Yeah. It's just very, very loose there. Not
Hmm?
this piece.
Oh. Yeah, that's just
Just the way it's supposed to be. So that his arm can move,
Yeah.
probably. I'll experiment more with that later. Oh. There's just so much detail here, guys. It's absolutely crazy.
yeah, that's really cool.
These tiny little skulls. Cape looks great too.
And it's about the same articulation as their normal figure line. One thing about the Kickstarter Classic Spawn is that he had a little bit less articulation than a normal figure because his chest was kind of all molded in one piece. So this is the blue and red one.
Yep. So his is blue. It's like underneath, right?
Mm-hmm. They both have silver and gold
Mm-hmm.
kind of highlights.
So this like chain mail-y
The chainmail is black on
is
hers.
black on mine. I think it's really loose. I don't know if that's quite right.
We'll
but
we'll look at it.
Yeah.
We'll compare with mine.
sounds good. I'm not too worried about it. It's just I'm worried about it.
It's fine. We'll get it figured out. Here, look at mine and see if mine's the same way.
Yours is not quite as loose as mine, but it is very posable. So
Oh yeah,
see that blue.
It popped out here. We'll pop it back in. Yeah, these shoulder pieces, they're mounted on the shoulder rings, and on both of these, this belt that holds the sword sheath on is kind of riding up and getting in the way, so we might have to adjust that a little
Okay. Sure that. Yeah. Okay. I'm super excited about this, you guys.
I'm gonna take the sword out.
Oh yeah. Stuff.
And there's way more accessories in the box,
So much.
but I wanted to just take everything out.
This shield. Double-sided. It's got little buckles. I'm so excited. This shiny piece here is a magnet.
Yeah, so one of the really cool things about these is that they have little magnets built in, so you can swap different detail pieces on and off.
Super easily.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Just
And that looks great.
very cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave his stand in there because I can never get those to work anyway.
I think he's gonna want to be on the stand. You might want to pull it out.
Eventually. I
oh,
will. I'm gonna
okay.
be manipulating him and
Okay.
doing stuff. I think.
Yeah, I think he with his cape, he's a little bit too tippy to.
Sure. Yeah, for now
He's a little bit too tippy to to try to stand.
Okay.
I mean, he can, but he's just a little too tippy to stand on his own really well.
Michael Caine finished proofreading his entire audiobook.
Now let's see. Do we have the same weapons? I think we do, right?
I think so.
Can you open your box lid for me just once so I can see? And we can compare before we start taking stuff out.
Where is it?
I think
Nice.
I'm going to take all of mine out as well, and then we can kind of compare. But I just want to make sure that we don't have like unique stuff that's going to get mixed up or anything.
Trying to keep track of all these little plastic pieces.
Does it look pretty much the same?
Yeah, it does.
And let's see, and the heads are the same too, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that we wouldn't like mix anything up.
Sounds good. They all have their little spot.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Are you gonna take yours all out right away? Okay.
show it
I think
properly. It's just fun.
I think we can pull the probably pull the foam tray out.
Yeah.
It's the whole packaging for this is real well designed too. It's kind of fun. It would be kind of sad if you had to like do a bunch of cutting to get all this stuff out. I don't know.
So this is the alternate shield. Again, double-sided with the buckles. Super cool. Boy. Oh yeah. Ah, oh no. Okay, what
should-
have you done?
See if we can set our individual figures up each a little bit differently. So because we're gonna have them both probably out on display, and it'd be nice if they looked a little different.
Yeah.
I'm actually just gonna go ahead and put them on the stand right away.
Great big battle axe. Looks great. Feels great.
Okay, yeah, he kind of wants to be on the stand. He has sort of a wide stance.
It's a smaller axe.
That scabbard really gets in the way.
So cool.
Oops.
The sword is. I just love all of these giant oversized weapons. Okay. Now we get into outfits.
Outfits. I think that scabbard's got to come off.
Yeah, that's what
That's the worst part of this thing so far. It's really cool, but it does not play nice with this cape. Look at that though. How cool is that?
very cool. Okay. So like we said,
okay, good. I was worried that his arm was kind of stuck in a really high pose, but it comes down pretty well.
so like we said earlier, everything's stuck on with magnets. These are actually posts though.
So you can swap out the little chain for his cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think if you take that out, I think the cloak comes off.
Yeah. And there's an alternate of that. So I could put in a different chain with a little Spawn logo face
Spawn symbol, yeah.
symbol. Yeah, instead of the skulls.
It's the same symbol that's like on the
Yes.
shield.
And then what I can do is I can pop off the breastplate and put on different ones. So this is
No, I want to compare it. I don't think
the one that was on there.
are these different between ours?
No, I'm pretty sure we got everything the same except the color of the base.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and mine is blue on this one, so it goes. That's
Mhm.
good. I kind of like this one that has the big skull on it.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at too.
And then he's
So mine is black here and David's is blue. Then that just magnets goes right on there. And everything's lined up. Just put in a different pin. But there's another one that is more chainmail-y, breastplate-y, not chainmail-y, armor.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can see. And there we go. And I will stick with the skulls for these pins. I think I'll take off the cape for now, though.
And then there's a few different helmets too.
Yeah.
That are actually, they're really cool because they're actually designed to go over. A couple of them are actually designed to go over heads. So I think, or maybe not.
I think they might all be.
I think they all just go
They're
on
just
directly.
all alternate heads.
But there's a couple of heads. So. Oh no, this one you can put it on over. Yeah. You can put it over the head. So you got the classic kind of like Spawn head, and then you can put this helmet over it. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And there's like a Roman style helmet. That's pretty cool. Gladiator kind of thing.
So there's the screamy one. And then there's like a just kind of grinning. And that is the one that this helmet fits over best, I think. There. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like it a lot. Very, very flexible. Doesn't get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
I really just like the design of this stuff overall. Like, I'm kind of picky when it comes to design of certain things. If it goes too far into extraneous detail territory, it kind of bothers me. But the story of Spawn and what he is, it makes sense that the armor would be this very fantastical, have all these swirly details and stuff. It looks very very appropriate to that. Very, very fitting. I like how on the cape there's like these it's almost like floral patterns at the edges.
So this one, this Centurion's helmet, the visor does not come up like this one does. But you can see it's got the piece underneath.
Yeah.
You can see the chin.
It looks like a chin.
And you can see the eyes through it. I don't know if I'll be able to show you that. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it. It looks like there's a head underneath there. It's very cool.
Yeah, this helmet too. I think they call this the Valkyrie helmet.
Oh yeah.
It has the same kind of thing. So
a couple of alternate hands. Got a very magic-y, grabby one. And a sort of pointing, ominous pointing one. I'm going to go with ominous pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I believe this goes there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is. I think you can put this
Probably
on
put 'em on either side.
either. Mm-hmm. I really like how they painted the spikes properly,
Yeah.
a different color.
They look
Like,
great.
look at this. So like even there's like these little red tendrils that come up against the base of the spike that are painted properly. They did a really great job. You see that?
Oh yeah, yep.
They did a really great
I
job
see
of
what
that.
you.
It's
I was like,
man,
which one are you holding?
I want to swap parts out, but the base
The base looks so
the base
cool.
kind of default outfit is probably the best. I like all of the skulls and stuff because the Hellspawn's armor is a like a living kind of like demonic armor, so that's it explain all of the crazy patterns and stuff on it. Oh man, the shield is really nice and big against him. That looks really awesome.
Yeah. How do you pull his head off?
It should be just pull hard.
Whew.
Yeah. Yep, and it's a nice tall pegs that's jointed at both ends, so there's a lot of movement to the head. It's quite a bit more movement actually than their standard figures.
So that's the head that comes on him. And I'm going to put, not that one, which this one. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. I also really like this one. So that might happen sooner or later.
Well, you can have fun dressing him up anytime. So just for comparison, this is like my favorite of the normal toy Spawn from their Mortal Kombat line. You can just see the level of detail on the medieval Spawn kind of blows it away.
Mm.
This cape is just great too. They made these capes with this kind of extremely sharp folded lines to them.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really good.
It looks great. Can you help me?
Yeah. Watch me break a $100 action figure live on stream.
Live on stream. Thanks.
The thing is, though, is if you do break, you can buy like replacements for these posts. Yeah,
that joint on both ends is great for posing. There, thank you. But makes it kind of.
I like the style of the Valkyrie helmet, but it's this kind of dark color that doesn't.
It is
quite
very dark,
match
isn't it?
the other.
The other pieces are not so dark. Just like how it can go up and you can see it.
Oh wow! I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, that is sick. Oh, that's awesome. You could even kind of cock it, display it sort of cocked open.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What shield are you going to put on yours?
The fancy one. I like this one.
This one?
Yeah.
I think
This one is cool, but like nothing else is that color.
Yeah. See, this is kind of the original.
Yeah.
That must be based on.
I think I'm gonna go with this one. And that's what he came in, of course. I'm steering back towards the default.
Be based on the original appearance of him. Yeah, I
like all of this.
So he's got a shield like that in the first appearance in the comic.
Oh yeah.
So in the comic, he's just like this kind of throwaway character because the real character is Angela, the Hellspawn hunter. She pretends to be a damsel in distress, and then kills him. It's really, really sad that the whole lawsuit had to happen. And Angela actually belongs to Marvel now, of all places. She's like kind of associated with the Thor characters,
Oh.
which sort of matches because she's like a kind of like a Valkyrie kind
Sure.
of character. But I really, really want a 7-inch Angela to go with these figures
That
because
would be awesome.
they've made really nice figures, kind of like modern imaginings of all the original Spawn characters, and I really like how they look. Like I've got Spawn, I've got Clown, I've got Violator and Overkill and Sam and Twitch, and it would be really nice to have an Angela to set there next to those, but no such luck. And this guy, he is awesome, but I mean, he just looks so much better. He looks so different. He hardly goes with those characters. So we'll see. No, I guess he kind of does. I may have to spring for the Kickstarter classic Spawn now after seeing this guy. So cool.
So cool.
This sort of default set of armor is really something else, though. The level of detail.
I'm the most pleased with it.
Yeah,
these are cool. These other optional pieces.
Yeah,
and
there's not a million.
Seriously,
there's not a million different colors on it. There's probably only 4 or 5 because there's the silver, the gold, the blue, the red, and this kind of bone color. But it all has this really nice wash. I guess there's some little paint errors here and there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It has this really nice wash that just really ties everything together. And really brings out all, like the Spawn symbols on the boot and everything. So yeah, it just looks really, really, really good.
Okay, remind me how this is supposed to work because it's got pegs, right?
Yep. So you would pull the pegs out, put it on his arm, and then put
on his arm.
Yeah. Oof. Probably his left arm, right?
Got it.
Yep.
Right, his left arm. That makes sense.
Yeah, so and then this comes off so you can put the shield on. As far as articulation, it's pretty much the same articulation as the toy line, which is fine. Man, look at they've got like this leather strap around the hands that's painted.
Mm-hmm.
The hands on a lot of the toys aren't really anything to write home about. Maybe if you're going to put that shield on yours, I'll put the original shield on mine.
I'm just trying to get him to... There we go.
It's so cool that they made the straps actually strap on.
Yeah. Now
and then the magnet should kind of hold it too.
Yep, and the magnet holds it as well. Let's see. I'll put that back on him. Or should I put the other one? What did I do with the other one? Oh, there it is.
Oh, this is interesting. So the straps on this one are kind of aligned so he can hold it with his arm down.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool. Actually, is that how? That's actually how it is in the comic.
Let's see. Trying to decide what I like best here. This is my favorite part. Tough choice. I think I'm going to go with that for now.
I'm not sure how much the magnet is doing on this shield.
Yeah.
It does kind of help you line it up, I guess.
I couldn't get the second strap in around the upper part of his forearm. Like it's there, but it's not really doing anything. Yeah, it's the magnet's helping.
Yeah. Oh, that looks awesome. Yeah, I like that. Are you going to do the sword or the axes?
I'm trying to decide.
I think this axe is pretty.
I was looking at the
badass.
axe, yeah.
It's got like the skull and these bat wings on it. It's really awesome. The weapons
So big.
really suffer on a lot of the toy line.
Yeah.
This particular Mortal Kombat Spawn has a sword, which is actually really quite nicely painted, but a lot of the other line just have weapons that don't have a lot of good paint detail.
So cool. Oh, these are cool too.
These are great, and it's not like a million different colors, but it's got this nice wash on a lot of it. Not all of it, but a lot of it. You gonna do the sword?
Maybe. Trying things out. Just thinking about stuff. How I'm going to want it to look. This is nice. The ends of the weapons come off, so you can slide them easily.
Oh, nice.
Into.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot about that.
Hands. I just put it in upside down so that he can be standing with it.
That looks really cool.
Yes. So yeah. His helmet does look quite dark compared to the rest of the shiny bits here. But I'm not sure that any of them would look any brighter. Maybe this one? Maybe? It's got some gold. We'll see. Maybe I'll swap things out.
Okay, so I think I found a good look for mine with the axe.
Oh, nice. That looks awesome.
You should definitely put yours on the stand. It makes
I'm going to.
Makes it a lot easier to hold.
I'm going to. That was always my intention to do that eventually.
With this cape, he probably would not have a problem standing on his own. It just like keeping him in that position might be tricky. should I give some of his accessories to my other spawn? That's the question. Oh, nice.
His sword just flops around. It's just a little too loose in his hand.
Better on
loose,
loose
yeah.
than tight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased.
I think I'm gonna put the big skull. As long as you've got the original breastplate on yours. I'm gonna put the big skull one on mine.
Nice.
Oh,
I love that axe, but you chose the axe. I feel like
you can put whatever you want on him. I don't know. I'll put the sword. I'll put the sword on mine. If you do the axe, that's fine. Oops.
I'm just gonna play. Just gonna play around. Gonna have fun.
Yeah, the amount of accessories and options that this thing gives you is a lot of fun, even if the sort of default ones are the best. The chain on that is really cool.
It's really nice. Oh man, that looks so cool.
Yeah, that second strap on the shield is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Wondering if I'm missing. Oh, I think it's just not. Yeah, I don't know. I think the magnet in the shield is not doing a whole lot because you'd have to put it up pretty high to get it to do. Just needs a little bit more playing around with, I think.
Yeah.
It's like it has to go like right. This strap has to go like right over the joint to get the magnet to line up. Oh, there it goes. Oh, okay. So it does just want to be put a little bit higher on the arm than I had it. Get that out of the way. Okay, cool.
Nice. Feel free. I won't be offended.
I just want to. Try posing that. Yeah, that's cool. That was a good position that you had it in at first. Yeah, I think maybe another little flaw is the weapon handles could be thicker, actually.
Yeah, they go in, which is something that can't be said of all action figure hands and weapons, but they end up being really
a little too
loose in the hand. There's just nothing there.
I really like how you can, with these figures, how you can pose the heads and get like these different emotions. I always like having Spawn kind of looking to the side. Like he's a little bit distracted by what's going on. You can kind of, with that double pivot, you can have him look to the side and kind of cock his head. So he's like looking up or down or whatever at something. Gonna kind of have him bowing his head or looking up. It's really expressive. It's unfortunate that the scabbard doesn't go the best either. I think that's kind of a little bit of a flaw in this. So it's definitely not like 100% perfect, but you have a lot of options, and the overall level of detail is just enough that I think it's a win. Okay, yeah, that magnet definitely is helping the shield stay on.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks great. From the side, it looks really cool.
I'm trying to get his sword not good. Can you adjust him? He
needs to just be. He's leaning a little bit weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I can't.
Sometimes they get kind of.
Action figures aren't intuitive to me.
They get kind of hunched in the legs sometimes. So you gotta just flex them like that. Get him straightened up a little bit. Is that better?
So much fun.
And see his ankles pivot too, so you can pivot him there. I love the greaves or the foot armor.
I showed you
Just
guys
look right.
his feet. Very, very nice.
Yeah, looks great. Looks great. Now the unfortunate thing is that well, I don't know. I guess maybe we'll see if the sword fits into the axe slot. I don't know. I suppose you can just toss it in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But there isn't necessarily a place for the armor or the stuff that you swapped off.
Mm.
But pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He does have different skulls on his knees. Yes. He's not perfectly symmetrical.
Mm-hmm. And the waist stuff around his waist isn't symmetrical either. It's comes up on one side and hangs down on the other.
Yeah. And I never showed his back when I had his cape off, of course.
Yeah, the Spawn costume is always asymmetrical, so that kind of goes, like he's got different pockets and stuff on different legs and stuff in the modern version, so
he can be without his cape. And this is
it looks great without the cape too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they put all that detail
in
areas that you don't see. They do that with the toy figures.
Skulls on his back of his thighs.
Yeah, they do that with the toys too. I mean, there's a lot of detail where you're not necessarily going to look, but
it's nice.
Makes it feel like a real thing.
Yeah.
They're putting detail on parts that you're not going to see right away. Is the skull at the waist gold on yours? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they really are identical except for the blue versus black.
Yep. That is so.
Oh, that's great.
Very pleased.
Mhm. Right.
When David first told me that they were doing this Kickstarter for Medieval Spawn, I was like, okay. And then he showed me every single video of the reveal of a new weapon that he was going to come with, and I was
Yeah,
like,
because
my
their stretch goals were all the additional access, and I think there were even a couple that they didn't hit, but there are all the different extra shields and detail pieces and everything, and just like, oh, it's just fun.
yeah.
I think it would be worth it, the price, I think, just for the base figure and a couple of different accessories, but
Mhm.
it's fun to have the stuff, even if it's not
Well, yeah, and it sort of activated my completionist, my video game collector, go around, get all of the weapons thing. I was like, I've gotta have this. This is very, very cool. I don't know if you guys could see this, but I just noticed this texture here is the spawn symbol.
Can I see? Oh yeah, on
Yeah.
that part, yeah. Well, there's a bunch of them down the inside there.
Oh yeah.
That's one unfortunate thing here. These things don't work with the weapon turned sideways, because they kind of pop it off. Oh no, there I found a good spot for it. Okay.
You could always swap it out for a different one.
Yeah, the magnets kind of give things a little bit of give,
Mhm.
which is nice.
Yeah, they're a nice strong magnet.
Yeah, it's the pulling force doesn't feel super strong, but they do hold stuff on really well.
Yeah.
So it's not going anywhere. It's light parts, so it doesn't have to feel like a super strong pull, but it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, I can pivot that way, so nice. Yeah, that's great.
Fun.
That's great. I'm very pleased with these.
Me too.
I wasn't sure. You never know if the actual thing is going to look like the samples that they show, but it does. It looks really good. And these toys always look better when you take them out of the box, out of the package, versus looking at them in the package. So. These shoulder rings kind of want to slip down.
Yeah.
I will say, and they leave a little bit of a gap there.
Taking a picture of mine.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. But it should. Oh yeah, it means that they're really posable. So the arms come up really well. That's kind of a cool look.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that. Or you could actually go like that, holding it up to. Let's see here. If it's If you can't get focus, see if you've got a macro mode.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, he can actually, his arm can support even the biggest, heaviest weapon up in the air. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Here, can I take a picture of yours?
Yeah. Let me see. His arm can support the biggest, heaviest weapon. I say as it sort of tips over.
Yeah, right. like that?
Yeah. That looks really cool, man, with the weapon held up.
Yeah. Can we set them with your regular one
In the middle?
in the middle?
Sure. I'm gonna try to get him into his pose that I want him to set in. Yeah, and unfortunately with the arms, okay, no, you've got, with the arms down, there is a bit of a gap at the shoulders.
Yeah.
But there's enough stuff here that you can cover it up and you don't really notice it. So it's not a huge deal, but there's always trade-offs with these things, I think. Let's see here. Are you going to post these on Twitter?
I was gonna.
Pictures? Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Not the best. It's not the best background.
Nah,
but...
it's.
Oh man, that looks great, and that looks just classic. It really just, these modern figures, in my opinion, they're like the best. They're like the best of both worlds because they have that classic Spawn look, but they're nice, clean, modern designs. So. They do actually go alongside the toys pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks nice.
You could fight a big. He's good size, like the same height as the normal the normal Spawn toy. So like he sizes really well, like with some of these bigger figures. You could scale pretty well. Yeah, cool. He is going to look nice on the shelf with the other stuff that I have, I think. I need to dust it. Where are you going to put yours on your Lord of the Rings?
He doesn't belong there, but that's where I have space. Do you think he's too tall for this shelf here? Maybe I'll put him there.
Probably not.
Then he could be seen in certain videos.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is a really good figure. I mean, I would say go out and buy one, but you're too late now. So, just watch if this kind of thing.
If they do this kind of thing again.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it. I think this figure, especially, even if you're not a Spawn fan, is just like a really awesome figure if you like medieval looking stuff. Oh man, that shield, that really looks great. That original shield. Look at the way it reflects.
Yeah.
It really does look like metal.
It does. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, if you're just a fan of cool looking medieval inspired designs, cool action figures, or cool knickknacks to set on your shelf, this is a great one. And McFarlane's kind of an indie guy, and I like throwing money at him when he does something cool that I like. So it's money well spent, in my opinion. When somebody like him runs a Kickstarter to make something cool and is reasonably priced. I think these were, I think it was $80, and $20 for shipping.
Mm.
So it was like $100 each shipped, which if you know anything about action figures, I think is a pretty reasonable price for what you get here. And supporting kind of a indie guy who does cool stuff for the sake of doing cool stuff and not for trying to prove some kind of political point or something like that.
Yeah,
You know,
just
McFarlane's is just kind of he's somebody I think who's just motivated by making cool stuff and not by much else. So
yeah.
So
it understands the value of toys, even for grown-ups.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, he's just about doing cool stuff. So,
Yeah.
So something nice to support. But all right, so watch for those pictures on Twitter.
Yep, I posted them.
You just
so,
posted them.
Yeah.
So.
This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I was.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, I was
expecting nerd out here.
I was expecting to really like this figure, and I think I'd like it a lot more than I did. So now I want to buy more Spawn stuff again. So
for me, the draw is definitely the medieval aspect,
Mm-hmm.
the sort of kind of classic fantasy feel,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like. It's got kind of that Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Gothic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Feel to it. Skulls and
sort of a supernatural twist to the design, which it's not just ornamental just for its own sake. There's kind of a in-world reason for it to be that way, which I think kind of elevates it a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah, great stuff.
We'll see you guys again very soon. We've got other things coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be starting a new book club. We'll be doing another indie anthology. One of the things that I enjoy doing. So keep an eye out for that as well.
And with any luck, I'm hopefully on the mend from my latest cold. So hopefully I will be starting up new, getting back into streaming more often. And I've got some really awesome projects going. I've got my action figure pipeline up and running. So I'm creating and 3D printing custom action figures now. It's pretty cool. I haven't posted a ton of that stuff on Twitter yet because it's still very early. I'm kind of holding off showing it until I have something that I like the look of a little bit better, but we're almost there. So, and you kind of see how the sausage is made in my live streams so stay tuned for those if you're interested.
And if you're wondering why I haven't been posting reviews so much on my website, it's because I'm in the thick of my Chapter 1 fun run, where I read through the first chapters of all of the books on my TBR. And if you are interested in hearing my thoughts on those, I post about that in my Discord exclusively. So reach out to me if you'd like in. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for watching.